Welcome back to our physics class. Today we are going to study a topic which is the most important topic in your 11th standard, and anyone who studied 11th standard physics, they will remember this topic. Such an important and interesting topic in physics. Today we are going to study about projectile motion. So first we have to discuss what is a projectile. So if you take any object and you throw it up, then that becomes a projectile. So if you are throwing it at a particular angle, that's also a projectile. So for this projectile, what are the characteristics of this projectile, and up to what height it will reach, up to what distance it will reach, like that every detailed thing we have to study about this projectile here. So projectile means any object which is thrown or projected, that is called as projectile. So if you take an object and throw, that becomes a projectile. And there are some conditions also for that. So when you are throwing something, for a projectile we will not consider any other force acting on that one other than the gravity. For example, we are throwing something which is not having any engine or something. It is not producing any energy. We are just discussing about throwing a stone or a javelin or something like that. So for that one there is no engine or something to power that one. So such an object is called as a projectile. That is, anything which is thrown or projected is called as a projectile. Now for this projectile, already I told you, we will consider the force acting on the projectile as the gravitational force only. Actually we may have some other force. For example, the drag or the air resistance also will be there for the object. When an object is moving, there is some drag will be there or the air resistance will be there. Now for our class, we will not discuss about that one. We will neglect the air resistance. Let the air resistance be zero or negligibly small. So in our calculation, we are not discussing about the air resistance for this projectile. So about this projectile, so much calculation, so much things are done. Even in 1632, that time itself, in Galileo also explained that in the case of a projectile, the motion along x-axis and y-axis are independent. In the book Dialogue on the Great World Systems, in that one Galileo already explained. That is, when something is projected, its motion along x-axis and y-axis are independent. Previous topics we discussed that one when we discussed about the velocity, acceleration and all. How it will be independent, how to calculate and all. So we will now start to discuss about this projectile. Main point to keep in mind is the force acting on projectile is the gravitational force, and we will neglect the air resistance. Now you think about a projectile which is thrown at a particular angle. Okay, so there are some other classification also this projectile: horizontal projectile, vertical projectile, and we are taking a projectile which is at a random angle. So we consider the projectile like this. This is our x-axis and y-axis. So now what we will do is, we will consider the projectile which is thrown at a particular angle. So it is going like this. Somewhere it will fall there. Okay, after reaching there, it will fall there. Now the full path I am not drawing. Just the beginning we are drawing this much only. Okay. So its initial velocity will be in this direction. The projectile is having an initial velocity in this direction. So we will write that initial velocity as v0. Now this initial velocity can be resolved into x-axis and y-axis. The meaning of that one is this initial velocity can be taken as a combination of velocity along x-axis and y-axis. For that one, first you should know what is this angle. So the initial angle I will write it as theta 0. Why I am writing it as theta 0? Because when I am going up, the angle made by this one with the x-axis changes. So when it is reaching to the top, the angle becomes 0 also. That details we will discuss later. But here you can see I am writing theta 0 means initial angle. Initially with what angle it is thrown. That is called as theta 0. Now this side we have the velocity along x-axis. That is, if this is v0, this will be v0 cos theta 0. And along y-axis it will be v0 sin theta 0. So we can resolve that one in two directions. Now, so velocity is clear. Initially when you are throwing, the angle was theta 0, velocity was v0. Along x-axis velocity was v0 cos theta 0. Along y-axis the velocity was v0 sin theta 0. I think this much is clear for you. Now we will discuss about this acceleration. So what about the acceleration along this y-axis? We have the acceleration due to gravity, which is downward. So I am writing acceleration as a is equal to minus gj, that is along the negative y-axis. Okay, so the acceleration is downward. Now what about the acceleration along x-axis? If we take along x-axis, this a is equal to 0. So I can write a y is this one, a x is 0. A y is along y-axis, we have minus g acceleration. Along x-axis, the acceleration is 0. I think this much is clear for you. And once more, all the values I will write here so that later confusion will not come. So v0x, what is that? v0x, that is initial velocity along x-axis, that is given by v0 cos theta 0, this one. And v0y will be, what is v0y? From this diagram we can say it will be v0 sin theta 0. v0 sin theta 0. So these things we need it later. That's why I am writing like this. And initially, what is the position? x0. x0 is 0 only. Similarly, y0 also 0 only. That is initially when time is equal to 0. X and y both are 0 only. Okay, so that much conditions we written in. I think this much is clear for you. Now what we have to do is, we have to write the position of this one. At different time, what will be the position. For that one, what we can do is, we discuss three equations of motion in 9th standard and in 11th standard, both we discussed. S is equal to ut plus half at square, like that, three equations. V is equal to u plus at in 9th standard. Okay. So same we will apply for this one. First we will discuss about after time t, what will be its position along x-axis and what will be its position along y-axis. You always think this x-axis, y-axis separately, then it will be easy. So what we can think is, along x-axis there is no acceleration because acceleration due to gravity is downward only. So what will be the position of along x-axis? Along x-axis the position is given by x is equal to the normal equation for x. What is that? It will be velocity into time, v0x into t. So this can be written as, what is v0x? You can substitute from there. So it will be v0 cos theta 0 into our time. So this is the velocity along x-axis. Similarly, velocity along y-axis, when you take, there is a small difference in this one because in y-axis we have acceleration. So we have to write the full equation s is equal to ut plus half at square, like that. So what is, if you take the same s is equal to ut plus half at square, what is u? Initial velocity along y-axis, that is v0 sin theta 0. ut will come. So it is t I am writing here. Plus half at square is there. A is the acceleration. Here acceleration is minus g. So it will be minus half g t square. You should not forget all these things. So x-axis, any time the position along x-axis can be obtained using this equation. Any time the position along y-axis can be obtained using this equation. Now we will think about the velocity. Along x-axis, what is the velocity? Along y-axis, what is the velocity? So now along x-axis the velocity I will write as vx. So along x-axis what will be the velocity? Because there is no acceleration, so velocity remains same only. So that will be v0x itself. Along x-axis there is no acceleration, so the velocity remains same. So this can be written as v0 cos theta 0. Now along y-axis vy is equal to, what is vy? Vy is changing because along y-axis we have our acceleration minus g is there. So u plus at, like that, if you take, what you will get? Initial velocity is v0 sin theta 0 plus at is there, so here it will become minus gt because a is minus g. So we got this one also. So we got all the initial values, we got the first acceleration, all those things directly from here, and we got the position of x after a time t, we got y after a time t, and velocity along x-axis after what is that we got, and it is independent of t. You can see there is no t coming in that one. The meaning of that one is always remains same, it's independent of t. and along y-axis this is the velocity. So we return this much. Now what will be the angle after a particular time? If it reaches here also it will have a velocity along this side. This will be our Vx and this will be Vy. So if you want to take what is this angle? So for that angle you can draw a triangle here, and if you take tan theta will be this velocity can be taken this side. So we can write at any angle, we can write this theta is equal to tan inverse of Vy by Vx, because tan theta is Vy by Vx. From this triangle, if you take this triangle, this side is Vy and this side is Vx. So we will get theta at any angle is tan inverse Vy by Vx. So if you reach the top position, what is the angle here? That also you think. When it is reaching top, see the velocity is only along x-axis, along y-axis no velocity. See this one, y-axis velocity will reduce like this, and when it reaches here only x-axis velocity is there. After this one, what happened? The y-axis velocity becomes downward, so going up to here. So what happens? It is this side movement is continuous. You remember that one? This side movement is continuous, but up and down, if you check what happens, going up to the maximum, then it is coming back. So you see, it is going like this. So if you take at any point, the x-axis continuously it is moving toward this side, but y-axis what happens? It goes to maximum and it is coming back. So at that maximum, here theta will be 0. You have to remember that one. At maximum height, the angle theta will be 0. So we done the basic things about this one. Now we have to think what will be the path of this one. So using these equations, what is there in both sides, different combination, we can find out what is the path, how much time it will take to reach on the top, how much distance it can travel. All those details we can do based on this one. So first we will think about the path of the projectile. In which way? For getting the path of the projectile, first we have to take the equation for x. This equation you have to take, and we have to take the equation for y also. These two equations. We have the equation for x and we have equation for y. Now what you have to do is, from this equation for x, what we have to do is, I am taking this equation for x. So in this one we have to find out what is t here. So what will be t here? T is equal to, from this one it will be x by b0 cos theta 0. From this one, if you rearrange, you will get t is equal to x by b0 into cos theta 0 you will get from this equation. Just rearranging this one. Now what we have to do is, here we have one t here and another t square here. For this t and for this t square, we have to put this value of t. So what will happen? Here you see, I can write it again. Y is equal to v0 sin theta 0. Instead of t, I am writing x by v0 cos theta 0 minus half g into t square, that is x by v0 cos theta 0 square. Now if you take it like this, here sin theta by cos theta also will come. Okay, and here one v0 is there, here another v0 is there. So we can cancel that one also. So finally what you can write is, you can write y is equal to tan theta 0 into x minus g, this g, okay, minus g. In the denominator what is coming? Here one 2 is there, and again v0 cos theta 0 2 times is there. 2 v0 cos theta 0 square, and here one x square also is there coming there. So we can write that x square also. X square. So this is the equation for the path of the projectile. So when a projectile is moving, the path of the projectile is given by this equation. That's very, very important. It is the path of the projectile is given by tan theta 0 x minus g x square divided by 2 v0 cos square theta. This here all square will come. Okay, so this is the path of the projectile. So if you put the value of x here, you will get what is at each position, what is the value of y, you can get it. So here you see, here time is not coming. So if you want to tell when x is equal to 25, what is the value of y? You put the x value here, then you will get. Okay, so if you use some computer program, you can even draw that path, how it is moving also. Now this one you see here, this equation is similar to a familiar equation. I don't know whether you done it in maths or not. The equation is y is equal to ax plus bx square. Same way, you see here, y is coming something instead of a, this way tan theta 0 is coming into x, then another one into x square. That is, this equation and this equation is similar. So this is the equation for a parabola. So as this is the equation for a parabola, what we can say, the projectile is also moving in a parabolic path. So that is very, very important. Any projectile or any object which you are throwing, that is going in a parabolic path. So up to here, if you study, you can prove that projectile is moving in a parabolic path, or the path of a projectile is a parabola. We will discuss about the time of maximum height. The meaning of that one is, at what time the projectile will reach to this maximum height. This maximum height point, when something is thrown up, how much time it will take to reach to the maximum height. This is applicable when you are throwing in a particular angle, or if you are directly throwing up. In both cases, this is applicable only. For that one, what we have to do is, you see here, when it is reaching up, when it is going slowly up, I already told you, when the thing is going like this, each point, what happens is the velocity, here x-axis velocity remains same always, but y-axis velocity slowly reducing, and when it reaches to the maximum height, at maximum height the velocity along y-axis is 0. That's why if you think only y-axis, it will go to the maximum height, and from there it starts to come down. So the main point is, at the maximum height, Vy is equal to 0. When it reaches to the maximum height, Vy is equal to 0. Already Vy is equal to here V0 sin theta 0 minus Gt. This is our equation. Now we are discussing about when it is reaching to the maximum height. In that maximum height, what is the condition? Our this Vy will be 0. So I can write that time, I will write Tm. Tm means time when it is reaching maximum height. Tm is equal to 0. That is this Vy equal to 0 here. Then if you rearrange this one, what you will get? Tm is equal to V0 sin theta 0 divided by G. You will get like this. Tm is equal to V0 sin theta 0 divided by G. So this is the time by which the object or the projectile reaches to its maximum height. It is given by V0 sin theta 0 divided by G. So this is called as the time of maximum height. So this is very simple equation. So if you know the initial velocity and the acceleration due to gravity. So here we can see it is not depending on the mass and all. If you are throwing some object to a particular height, up to what height it will go. You see, this one is very important. It is not depending on the mass. Whatever be the mass, it will go to the same height. It depends on what velocity you are throwing. That's all. Okay. So that is a very important result. Now similar to this one more thing is there. We have the thing called as time of flight. This is the time for reaching to the maximum height. Now I am discussing about time of flight. Time of flight means after starting from here it reaches by taking the time this one. Okay, time of maximum height. Now when it will reach to this point, when it will touch to the ground, that time is called as time of maximum, time of flight we can say that. Okay, it's called as time of flight. And for this time of flight, we will use the letter TF. TF is the time of flight. So how to calculate the time of flight now? So for that one also, very important thing here, when it is reaching to that last point, what is the value of y in the y-axis? Goes up, y from 0 goes 1, 2, 3 up to maximum, then it is coming back. When it is touching there, the y value will be 0. So that is very important. When TF comes, this y will be equal to 0. Because the y value increases up and it produces, it is touching means there the y is 0. So what is the equation for y? Y is given by y is equal to V0, big equation was there, sin theta 0 into t minus half gt square. This was the equation for y. Now what is the condition? When it completes there, this t will become tf and the value of this one will become y is equal to v0 sin theta 0 into tf minus half g tf square. This value is equal to 0. This value is equal to 0. So if you rearrange this one, what you will get? You will get tf is equal to 2v0 sin theta 0 divided by g. So this is the time for flight. That is for total this projectile to reach to the ground again. Once if you are throwing again to reach to the ground, the time is given by this equation. Tf is equal to 2v0 sin theta 0 by g. So you are getting this one. And previously for time to reach maximum height, what it was? It was sin theta 0 by v0 into sin theta 0 by g was there. Now here the importance is, here we have same type equation, but one difference is there. Here we have here 2 also is there. So the meaning is the time to reach, go to the top and time to reach to the last point, that is related. So total time is 2 times time to reach top. So it says that to reach to the top, how much time it is taking, same time it is taking to come back. That's why the total time becomes double of that one. So any object is thrown or any projectile is moving, how much time it will take to reach the maximum height, same time it will take to reach to down. So that the total time of flight will be double the time to reach to the maximum height. Okay, that's also a very important point. Now we are going to study another thing. That is, we discussed already what is the time required to reach to the maximum height. Now we have to discuss what is the maximum height, up to what height it will reach. So now we are going to find out the maximum height. To what height this projectile will reach. So height means it is y-axis only. So we can write the equation for y-axis. Y is equal to the same equation which we done previously. v0 sin theta 0 into t minus half g t square. So this equation already we done. Now in this one what happened is, we have t here and we have another t here also. So what is this time? T means the time. Now what we are going to discuss, at what time it is going to reach the maximum height. That time we know, that time we are calling as Tm, time to reach to the maximum height. And we have the equation also for that one, v0 sin theta 0 divided by g, like that is there. Now we got this value. Now what we can do? This value for Tm, this can be replaced in this for t and this t. These two places we can replace that value. Okay, so you will get the maximum height. So I will write it as hm. Hm means the maximum height. That will be v0 sin theta 0 into this one. So there it will come v0 sin theta 0 divided by g. Then again this one g by 2. G is here by 2. Then this square, same thing, square v0 sin theta 0 divided by g square. Now if you do this one, rearrange this one, you will get hm is equal to v0 sin theta 0 whole square, whole square divided by 2g. So this is the equation for maximum height. So by substituting the value of time to reach to maximum height in the equation for y, we can get the maximum height. What is the maximum height? Up to what height this projectile will go? That can be obtained like this. Now we have only one part remaining. That is the most important thing. That's called as the horizontal range. What is the meaning of horizontal range? When a projectile is projected or thrown, up to where it can reach horizontally, that is called as horizontal range. I will draw it and show for simple understanding. Okay, see here, your projectile is going from here. So we discussed so many things, when it will reach top and what time and all. Now this is called as the horizontal range. Horizontally it will reach to what height? See, this is applicable when it is in a level ground. Okay, so this is called as a range or the horizontal range. So we will find out what is the horizontal range of a normal projectile. We will find out. For that one, what we have to do is, we have to use a simple equation for x. We have x is equal to v0x into t, that is velocity along x-axis into time, that's all. So the range r is given by v0, that is velocity along x-axis is a constant because we don't have any acceleration along x-axis. So velocity along x-axis is a constant. That was v0 cos theta 0 was there. That is our velocity along this one. And what is this time? When it is reaching there, the time of flight, total time, how much was there? That time, this t can be replaced as tf because we are thinking about the last point. Last point to reach, how much time is required? Tf already we calculated. So that tf will come here. Now substitute the value there. Simple. So r is equal to v0 cos theta 0 into, for this tf we have to substitute. What was it? 2v0 sin theta 0 divided by g. Okay, so I will get it like this. So this one again you can simplify. So I will get r on the range is equal to v0 square sin square 2 theta 0 divided by g. Sin theta cos theta is coming. Okay, so that explanation for sin 2 theta, the sin square, sin 2 theta square will not. Sin 2 theta, if you take the expansion, it will be same. You will get it like this. So the range is given by this equation. Okay, r is equal to v0 square sin 2 theta 0 you will get. Okay, so this is the equation for range. So all the equations are over now. So we will get a range this much. So you see here, when you are throwing something, up to what range it will go, that depends on which values. Initial velocity v0 square is coming, and the angle also coming, theta 0 is also coming, and acceleration due to gravity also. So acceleration due to gravity same, we can take 9.8, no issues. So when you are throwing a particular thing, up to what range it will go, that depends on what value, initial velocity and also angle. Now when it will get maximum range, see here, this v0 you are throwing with a particular velocity, you have that ability for, just you think about a sports situation where you have a javelin and you want to throw the javelin so that the javelin should reach the maximum distance. So velocity is a particular, your maximum velocity only you can throw, but which angle you have to throw, that is very important. See here, our equation is r is equal to v0 square. This v0 maximum velocity, let it be there, we cannot change it. This also we cannot change. Then what we can change? This sin 2 theta 0, this angle we can change. So when you change angle, the maximum range will come when this value is maximum. So what is the maximum value which we can get for sin theta? That is 1. So the maximum range will be Rm, I will write. Rm will be, this is 1. So it will be v0 square by g. So this is the maximum possible range. So if you want to make this one possible, your sin 2 theta 0, this one should be maximum 1. Sorry. So for what value of sin theta there is 1? Sin 90 is 1. So 2 theta 0 should be 90. If 2 theta 0 is 90, you will get maximum range. If 2 theta 0 is 90, what about theta 0? Theta 0 should be 45 degree. So that is a very important result. That is, when angle is 45 degree, this 2 theta 0 will become 90 degree. Sin 90 will become 1. So you will get the maximum range. So if you want to throw a javelin so that it will reach to the maximum extent, or you want the maximum range for a javelin, then at what angle you have to throw it? You have to throw it as a projectile at an angle of 45 degree. Now you think about the javelin when you are throwing, which angle you are throwing. Generally it will be 45 degree only. Your maximum power you have to take and you have to throw exactly at 45 degree so that it will reach to the maximum distance. And along with this one, another interesting factor also is there. If you throw this one with the 45 degree, it will come here maximum. Okay, this is 45 degree, this is reaching maximum. Now, what happens is, if you are throwing it with 30 degree, otherwise if you think about 40 degree, then what will happen is, it will go like this and 40 degree it will fall here. That is 5 degree less. Now, if you throw with 5 degree more, that is 45 plus 5. That becomes 50. So it will go up like this, but the falling point will be same as this one. That is, our initial angle is 45 plus theta or 45 minus theta. Both will have the same angle or same range. You understood? 45 degree will have the maximum range. If you add 10 degree with the 45, it will become 55. If you reduce 10 degree, it will become 35. So 35 and 55 will have the same range. Okay, that also you can mathematically prove. You try to prove it mathematically that we will get same range for 45 plus theta and 45 minus theta, you will get the same range. Okay, that you can try. Okay, you just use the trigonometrical thing, and for that value, when the 2 theta comes, there you put the value. Then you try that one, and as a work you do it. It's already solved in textbook. Just directly don't go and check in that one. First you try. If you are not able to do it, already solved in the textbook as a problem, as an example problem it is solved. You do it, and it's very important. All this equation you should remember one thing. Second thing, you should know the derivation also. So you completed the most important topic for 11th standard. As it is most important, you have to remember it, and its application level question can come in different ways. Okay, and in practical life also you have to remember this thing. Okay, we will wind up today. Thank you.